So how are we doing? Are we healing up? Are you in the dark night of the soul? Are you feeling awful and then feeling a lot much lighter and starting to feel good about yourself? Or maybe not. Maybe you're feeling you're not enough. You're not enough. You don't feel you're enough to fit in the world. Maybe you don't feel you're good enough at your job. Whatever it is, relationship, whatever. But in the dark night of the soul, it's going to come up. It's coming up with me. So I'm going to talk through releasing some of these issues stored in your body. And also I'm going to be talking about possessions. So let's talk about that to start with. With your awakening, you're going to have a shift from your old life to your new life. So you could say all your past life, your previous life, it's got to go. It's got to go. It's old energy. The energy that you had is stored in these possessions. And this brought up the wound big time in me about an issue that I didn't feel enough. I went home to where I used to live at my parents' house, and there were some gym weights there. So he says, "Oh, can you take them with you?" So yeah, I took them with me, brought them back here where I live. I felt vile, I felt awful. And then this wound come up. The energy that was stored in them weights, at the time I bought them many years ago, probably talking 15 years ago, I've got a very slim frame. I can go to the gym and not put much muscle on. At that time, I didn't feel enough. A lot of my friends, they were getting big, they were getting roided up, to impress the girls or whatever they were doing. But it made me feel not enough. I didn't feel that my body didn't fit into this 3D world, this egoic image of society of how you should look. That's my particular wound. Whatever it is, maybe yours is your appearance on your face, hair, whatever it is. But the energy that was in them weights, I think I used them weights for about a week and then throw them on the side. But it was strange. It really brought that wound up to the surface. So your possessions are a great tool to heal yourself. A massive tool. And this will just purge out you. Will just start the cycle of purging. But when this happens, if you're feeling awful like that, that's got to go. That is stored, suppressed energy that's got to go. I had to sell them weights that night on Gumtree. I had to get them gone, and someone collected them. And all your clothes, all your old energy clothes, give them away. Give all my clothes away now. Fresh energy, the new energy, because you're changing so frequently. So let's talk about you not feeling enough in your dark night of your soul. And why aren't you feeling enough? And it's this reality, this third dimension reality of, like them gym weights, I've got to look right. That's what you're meant to look right. And again, it's about achieving. If we're not achieving, we think by achieving a goal or whatever it is, we're going to feel good. I'm going to feel better. But there's always somebody to criticize your goal. There's always another goal to achieve. There's always something better to accomplish. It's like when you start a business. It becomes exciting when you start your business. It becomes new, a new challenge, new excitement. Then it gets busier, then more stress. And as you expand, what does it become? It's just nothing. And that's it. We fall into the trap of the mind, thinking achievement. You go back to school, when we're at school, it's all about achieving grades. Wow, me in the exam room was a nightmare, me picking everybody's thoughts and emotions up. You're going to be like that if you're probably watching this video. You feel the same way. It is a sad state how the planet is in. But if you're watching this, you're healing. An experience happened to me the other day where I could tap into the collective, the world's feeling. What day are we now? March 2019. I think we're about the 8th or 9th of March. The new moon's just gone, and it was in my birth sign, Pisces, and I could never had that experience. I could tap in to really everybody's deep pain in their body. And it was, I can't describe it. It was so heavy. That's the word. The pull of the moon, I could feel everybody's heaviness. And you are enough. But we're conditioned to feel that we're not enough. What would all the marketing people, all the people that sell fashion items, all the labels, what would they do if everybody was going through this experience? That wouldn't exist, because it's just in your mind that you're going to feel better. I'm going to feel more whole. And that's wonderful. I love the dark night of the soul, because if you're not feeling enough, you're going to become so still, nothing, and release that inadequate feeling that you picked up. You're trying to fit into how the 3D world, how people saw what you could achieve, but really, it's not what your soul come here to do. It's not what your soul come here to do. And at this moment in time, in my work, I've got a bit of time. I'm not working as much. And that brought the wound up as well. I'm not enough. I should be going out working every day. That word, should be. I'm fine. I can have some time off. But again, that's where we don't feel enough. If I go out and had a day's work, am I going to be any more of who I am now to then? I've been out and worked. I've got bills to pay, yes. But that's again, it's the trap. It's the trap of you should be going out to work. You know, comments of others when you maybe not work for a while. But it's really strange. You'll know when you're going through that. It's really weird. But it's sad, because really, if you really get to the core issue, and my twin flame, she really helped me with this, and she's spot on. All people not want, but all people would like to feel is enough. But the suffering comes in is because we want and need to feel enough. But that is what's going to be stripped away from you in the dark night of the soul. You already are enough. And you'll get the links to whatever made you feel not enough. Them gym weights were just one bit. I needed to become more ripped up, roided up. What for? Because that was a mental image. That's what's going to get me the girl. Is it? Really? No, that's the illusion. I don't even know what that is. Because we're not this. We're not this body. We think we are. So if you're not enough, you are enough. And it's stripping you away. Maybe someone's going to trigger it in you because they don't feel enough. It's going to trigger you. It's going to trigger that in you. But you're healing. You're healing up. So go with it. Accept it. And be thankful and grateful for your possessions that hold that stored energy in. Them gym weights. I didn't feel enough. Felt inadequate. Didn't like myself. I used to play golf for 20 years. 20 years. Golf. Ben the golfer. I don't play golf anymore. What was golf to me? It was a place to escape. I didn't know it at the time. I like being around nature, but I didn't know that. It was a place for me to get my frustration out. my anger. You know, what did I do in my golf clubs after 20 years? None of my friends know this, they don't even know I do these videos. I threw them away. I went to the rubbish tip and threw them. Man, what a release that was. The anger in those clubs when I picked them up. So your possessions are the key, the tools. You've got to heal yourself and let go. Let go of that energy. And then you're going to be fronted with, what's happening? Where am I going? That's the dark night of the soul. I think I'd rather be wandering around in the unknown, in the unconscious, to be stuck in them heavy patterns, them heavy, more collective patterns. So if you're feeling any of those things, it's time to let that energy go. And the new's going to come rushing in. You won't be able to stop it. So if you're finding videos like this, you're healing up, welcome the dark night of the soul. Yeah, you get into it. You get into your pain. You get into... You get into your unconscious identification with the collective suffering. That's how I'd like to put it into words for how I feel about it. It's your identification unconsciously. You didn't know you were doing this with people's pain, other people's suffering, your self-inflicted suffering. So, time to release that heavy past. Time to heal up. Love yourself. And become how you were when you first came here. Innocent. Nothing. Still. But awake. Awake. Lovely. Lovely. Love yourself. And you are always, always enough.